everyone, welcome to the Parenting Bears series, Tips for Developing a Positive Relationship with Your Student. My name is Lauren Vines, and I am the District Mental Health Counselor and Secondary Social Worker. So why are developing positive relationships so important? It's a key component to being mentally healthy and having a positive sense of well-being. So as humans, it's as social beings, the capacity to form and maintain relationships is essential to us and how we function in everyday society. So a securely attached child, this is going to be more relatable to parents of newborns. In the therapeutic world, we have what's called an attachment theory. And basically the best way I can describe it is think of a foster home with babies, and there's 10 babies in each of the cribs, and they're all crying at different times. Well, it's unrealistic to be able to feed 10 babies all at once, but those babies who are picked up, who are loved, who are nurtured, are going to be able to develop those secure attachments and more importantly, be able to have a healthy emotional regulation. These securely attached children, the ones who are able to bond with their parents, are able to develop a sense of worthy of being consoled and loved. And I think that is very, very, very important as our children continue to grow up, because then we start to see, lack of self-confidence. And for those children who are securely attached and able to express their emotions and know that their parents are nurturing or going to understand and are going to consolidate them or console them in those moments, then they're going to have a higher level of self-esteem than those who do not. So tip number one for developing a positive relationship is, of course, find the time, the uninterrupted time to spend time with your child. I know that can be struggling as we as parents have a lot going on, and even more so with parents of multiple children or even parents with challenging behavior. At the end of the day, children are going to seek attention in any way possible, whether that's positive or negative. So remember, any type of attention, whether they're acting bad, that's getting the attention that they need in those moments. So if you're able to find that time and have consistency in that time, whether it be every day or every other day or once a week where it's just you and the child, that's going to give them the opportunity to secure that bond. If, for instance, you've had a bad day or your child's had a bad day, having that one-on-one time is going to be a great opportunity to press the restart button for the both of you. One of the things you can do is engage in activities that are interesting and interactive. You can go outside, you can throw a ball, you can get manis and petties, you can cook, do puzzles. Make an effort to have uninterrupted time. That means there's no cell phones, there's no chores, just focused on positive attention. Tip number two, focus on the positive. So praise small efforts to reinforce behavior that's being learned. So children and adolescents are learning something new every day. So encouragement goes a long way. An example that we often use as adults is to think of a job where you felt valued. Most often, a positive work environment is a result of positive leadership where praise is provided and hard work is recognized and your needs are heard. And so praise those small efforts. Don't have unrealistic expectations that your student is going to be perfect at everything, because if you have that expectation put upon them and they're not perfect, that's just going to lower their self-esteem and hinder that bond that you may have with your students. So focus on the positive, give that positive reinforcement every day, such as you can do great things, you did a great job, I know you tried your best. And I think this is one of the biggest keys as we continue in the uncertainty of society and as your children continue to grow up and be independent on their own. Tip number three, listen with intention. So quite simply, let your child know that they're listening. Of course, this can be difficult when you're multitasking or your child goes on and on with their stories. Just being present and showing you're interested can open up an opportunity to encourage them to continue to talk through the future. So hold back from any judgment. Children and adolescents' brains are growing through radical changes. And they may experience some big feelings over things that we adults as find as unimportant. But remember, what's unimportant to us is real in their reality. And I often think of it this way. So you have teenagers who are in relationships or preteens who are in relationships and they've been with their boyfriend or girlfriend for 2 weeks, and they're heartbroken when that relationship breaks up. And to us as adults, we know that that relationship is minute compared to other things that they should be focusing on. However, that is a real loss, and they have to grieve that loss. And so remember that their reality is totally different than what we see as their reality. Excuse me. Remember that validation can go a long way. So saying that this is tough for you, or I can see you're feeling hurt, can keep a conversation going and let your child know that you're respecting their feelings. Ask questions like, what's your favorite part of the day? What was the best thing you learned today? To increase those chances of having a conversation and reduce the likelihood of receiving short and vague answers like, okay, it was fine, my day was good, it was bad. Make sure you're using those open-ended questions. I think that's very important with the communication skills. And that's something I teach with the students that I interact with on a daily basis, is communication skills, and those skills needed to be successful in life. Tip number 4, of course, we all know this, we're going to have respect. We as adults, and from a parent perspective, we want respect from our kids, but at the same time, we also have to provide them respect. So children learn social skills through their daily interactions with adults, and are constantly observing how adults interact with each other. Respect is mutual. How we talk with our children greatly influence on how they treat others, and including their parents for that matter. So spending positive one-on-one time with your child on a daily basis, and simple gestures like acknowledging their feelings or appraising small tasks can be a great foundation for building that stronger relationship. The truth is the more we focus on building that relationship, we're able to spend less time on negative interactions and more time on enjoying the children. Tip number 5, use community resources. So children need direct and continuing access to people whom they can trust and develop healthy and supportive relationships. So take children to libraries, museums, sporting events, parks, enroll children in youth enrichment programs, sports activities programs, and even music. Participate in youth groups and communicate with your child's teacher or other school staff. So use your community resources when you're needing help or wanting help with your children. And more importantly, they're going to watch you. They're going to observe you. They're going to observe how you interact with our neighbors and our, and colleagues and friends. And so you're modeling that behavior that you want your child to exhibit. So always remember, model the best behavior, or model the behavior that you want your child to show. Tip number 6, and I think this is so very important. I speak about this all the time in every Parenting Bear series. Being a parent is difficult, and especially more so in today's society. So no one expects you to know how to do it all. Children such as challenges such as unemployment or a child with special needs can add to that family tension. So if you think your stress may be affecting the way you communicate with your child, or you just want that extra support, talk to someone, call a helpline, seek counseling. Speak with family and friends, and more importantly, accept the help. There is no shame in asking for help, and we say that to kids all the time. And so if you're able to model, and you know that you're struggling, you being able to show them that, yeah, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to ask questions and to talk to people about our feelings, they're going to do the same. And so, we're only effective parents if we're taking care of ourselves, and self-care is so very important. Tip number 7, welcome emotions. I talked about this previously in a previous slide. Encourage those expressions of emotions. Remember that you're the one your child trusts enough to cry with and to breathe their way through any issues or problems they may be experiencing. Just acknowledge all of those feelings and offer understanding of that pain. That creates that safety so that they can move through those emotions and back into connection. A lot of kids today struggle with that emotional regulation and how to identify our emotions and how do we react with certain emotions such as sadness or anger or frustration. So if they're able to talk to you about their emotions, you're able to guide them through the appropriate coping techniques that they may need throughout their daily lives when you are or not present. And I think this is very important when children come to school. They need to know their feelings. They need to know how to cope with those feelings. And that comes, from modeled behavior from their parents at home. So I always provide resources for parenting. So the first one is the Fatherhood Coalition of Tarrant County. This is going to be all about dads and parents and how to create that bond, that nurturing bond with your children. Lena Pope and New Day Services offer counseling for families, and they talk about communication skills and just as I had discussed earlier, talking about our emotions. How do we cope with our emotions? And as I said, if a parent is seeking help or needing help, this would be a great resource for you as well. The Parenting Center and the Parenting Advice Line. These are from the Parenting Center of Tarrant County. And this is a great resource. They have a parenting advice line that's 24/7. Any questions you may have about how to parent or just an issue that you need help resolving, they're going to be there. They're licensed counselors, and they're going to help you. They're going to help you in whatever way they can. They also have parenting groups and parenting classes, and I will tell you that when you do attend these classes, there's gift cards and all kinds of food that they provide just to engage their parents and to help their parents feel supported in parenting, because it's not always easy, and it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to make mistakes, because this is a learning process for all of us. I want to make sure that every parent knows to stay connected to the district in our information. So make sure your email and your phone number is correct in school status. We send out emails, we send out text messages, whether that relates to parenting, whether that relates to food drives, inclement weather. So make sure everything is incorrect on that. Check our district website, WSISD.com. There we'll have a counseling corner, and that will hold all of our Parenting Bear series previous presentations. And so make sure you look for that. We have a Facebook, we have a Twitter. So follow your district Facebook, follow your campus Facebook, and follow our Twitter. That's going to be the best way to stay connected into what's going on within our campus. And then again, my name is Lauren Vines. This is my office number, 817-367-5339. If for whatever reason I do not answer, please leave a message and I will return your call as soon as possible. My email is lauren.vines@wsist.net. If there's any questions, concerns, issues, anything that you may need help with, any resources that you may need for you or your family, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I am very honored to be here. I am very honored to provide you with these educational videos and help guide through this process. So we are looking forward to our next presentation in 2 weeks, and that's going to focus on our self-esteem, our child's self-esteem, and how to increase that, how to engage in that. And I think that that's going to be a very important one for those of you who have middle school, high school students, because sometimes lack of self-esteem can decrease as we get into those years. So please check that out. We'll send out the Zoom link here in next week or so. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.